Hello, Algebra 2 Honors students, and welcome to a very selfie-friendly video on how to run a quadratic regression on your calculator. Okay, so the main purpose of this video is for you to be able to come up with an equation for a quadratic function if you are given 3 points on the parabola. All right, so a couple of weeks ago, and what you were responsible for in the last quiz was if you were given the roots of a quadratic function, how to come up with the equation. But part of this unit, other questions you would have with respect to given some information, how to find the equation, would be if you're given 3 points on a parabola. Or if you're given the vertex, you're really only, it's only necessary to give you one other point, because using some symmetry, we can come up with a third point very easily. All right? So in this one example I have for you for today, I have 3 ordered pairs to give you. The points -1, -2, 2, -20, and 1, -10. All right? And we're going to use those 3 points to come up with an equation that represents the parabola that goes through those points. All right? But first of all, let's talk about the pictures that are behind me. This guy, let's see if you guys can see this. This is a beautiful sunrise over Philadelphia from the Belmont Plateau. I was driving to school one day a couple of years ago and just was struck in my side view mirror by a magnificent glow of deep orange, and I took the long way to school from Philly and took this photo there. Next, we have maybe one of my favorite photos I've ever taken. This was in Srinagar in northern India. I was living with a family there for about 5 days, and these were 2 kids in the family. I just had a blast with that family for that time, and it's probably my favorite trip I've ever taken. Srinagar is the capital of Kashmir state, which is in the far north of India. That's Philly. That's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore on Lake Superior in the Upper Peninsula of northern Michigan. That is also one of the cooler pictures I've probably taken. You know, as they say, no filter. This is completely from my kayak, from my iPhone, no changes at all. I used to have a thing that I would do on snow days. I would go around just taking pictures of Philly. That's somewhere between, say, Locust and Spruce and like 11th and 12th Street, somewhere nestled in that Washington Square West area of Philly. I really like that picture. I love that red door. I came across that red door recently, actually. It's pretty cool. All right, anyway. Blah, blah, blah. More importantly, back to math. All right, so here's how to do it. Enter into L1 and L2. Remember we did linear regression earlier this year? Well, this is the same idea. Just in L1, enter the x values. In L2, enter the y values. All right? Then quit. Second mode allows you to quit. Then go back to stat. Because again, to get to those L1, L2, maybe I should have informed you of that or reminded you of that first. To get to L1, L2, you go to stat and then edit. All right? That's how you get to L1, L2. But now, we go back to stat, and now we slide over to the calculate menu, so just one over. And the 5th choice is quadratic regression. So just hit 5 or cursor down to the 5th choice. And then slide your cursor down to calculate, hit enter, and there we have our A, B, and C. So now we're able to write our equation. The equation would be y equals -2x squared minus 4x minus 4. And then, of course, once we have our equation, we could then find the roots of the function. We could find really any other function values we wanted. We can come up with a graph and so on. So if we give you 3 ordered pairs on a quadratic function, could really ask you for any characteristic of the function. But the first thing you would do is to find the equation, which I just showed you how to do, right? Stat edit, enter into L1, L2, the ordered pairs. Then stat calc and choose the 5th choice quadratic regression, and you'll be given the A, B, and C values, so then you can write the equation. All right? Have a great spring break.